The good news, you could increase your solar tax credit by 10% with the domestic content adder. The bad news, it's not that simple, but we've got you covered. Watch this video for a complete breakdown of how this tax credit works. I'm sure you're familiar with what the 10% adder is, the domestic content. It increases the ITC, the investment tax credit, from 30% to 40% if your solar project meets certain requirements in terms of the components being manufactured domestically here in the United States. So Dale, let's talk about, first of all, what do we know as of today in terms of the calculation, and how do you figure out whether or not your project will qualify for that additional 10%?
Yeah, so originally, Warren, for this next year, 2025, it's 40% of manufactured products have to be domestically made.
Right.
And what everybody was waiting on was, what does that mean and what does that look like? In addition, there's a second piece to it, which is that any steel on the project has to be U.S. made,
right.
100%.
Right.
So what was uncertain was, how's this play out when you've got ground mounts and roof mounts and different types of systems? So we got new guidance. A couple of weeks ago, we got new guidance came out, but it is not the final regulation. I think that's important to note.
Yeah.
That we're still under guidance. Final regulation, hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah.
This particular piece of the IRA bill has been consistently pushed out.
Yep.
It's been a challenge. Okay, so we have we have this 40% that we're aiming for, and then in the following year it goes to 45, up to 55
right.
eventually. So we got to get to 40%. So the question is, how do you get to 40%?
Yeah.
You know, you got 100% steel. So if we're doing a ground mount, 100% steel, stationary racking, it has to be 100% steel. If it's a tracker, now you get into a manufactured product, and it starts to get into these tests. But what they've done is they, through interactions with people in the industry, have developed a standard, I don't know if you call it a safe harbor calculation, but it is kind of. It's a calculation that you do not actually have to know the actual cost. Okay, so what they learned is what we knew in our industry, and that is that manufacturers were going to be very hesitant about divulging all of their costs.
Right.
I mean, down to margin and everything. So we didn't get that, and we tried to get that, and Larry was involved in that, and we weren't getting any information. So they came out with this calculation. So now they're saying, based on inverters, based on modules, and based on racking, basically, there's three pieces.
Right.
This is what counts, and this is the percentage you can count. So it doesn't matter necessarily which inverter you use. They're giving you a standard calculation that for an inverter that is US made, here's what it counts. So the actual cost calculation that we anticipated, that we thought was going to be a nightmare,
Right.
is no longer really in play. Now you could still use that if you wanted to. You could actually do the actual cost calculation. But the safe harbor, I think, is what most people are going to use. And inside that, it's become pretty clear what you got to get to 40%. So if you've got products in that breakdown, inverters and racking, that only add up to 30%, that means you've got to get the module.
Right.
And in the module, that's broken down among, I don't know, what is it, maybe 8, 9 components that they're giving points for. So they don't give just 100% for the module. What they give is percentages for each component of the module. The glass, the back glass, the frame, whatever's domestically produced, you can count. And what has become abundantly clear is that on the ground mounts, the cells that are in the modules have gotten a very high weight into this 100%. If you don't have the cells, you can't get there. You can't get to the 40% with the other components. On the flip side, with the roof mounts, it's apparent that you can get there if you have, because the racking on the roof mounts, typically aluminum, it's considered a manufactured product, not the steel category. So you can put that into the manufactured product calculation, and with that and the inverters and the MLPE, any optimizers, microinverters that are used typically in residential or smaller commercial, those components can get you to the 40% as of now.
Without the modules.
Without the modules.
Right.
But it's a tight fit.
Right.
You know, it's still pretty aggressive. But so it is becoming clear, and we understand some of this is under challenge from other manufacturers. So this is guidance. The guidance is going to be in effect until the final regulation comes out. And then there's a window of time that the guidance would still apply, and then the final regulation will take over. So still some uneasiness around, you know, what might and what might not count, but at least we have a calculation that we can use between now and when the final regulation goes into effect.
So we have the calculation. We have an idea of what that looks like. From the customer's perspective, they don't have to do any of this calculation.
No.
Which is good for them.
That's good for them.
It's good for them.
Yeah.
They're relying on us, and we're relying on our manufacturers and our distributors to provide that to us. And then we provide whatever our customers need to confirm that their system will comply.
Yes, we would need certifications from the manufacturers to say this is the components,
Right.
or the entire unit,
Right.
that is U.S. made.
Right.
And if we have that certification, we drop it into our formula, and we can provide that calculation to the client along with those certifications to take the tax credit.
Yeah. So that brings up a question for Larry. In terms of these certifications, which manufacturers are we working with, or do we know that currently have these certifications available, or which ones do we get a sense are going to have these certifications?
So it's a real race, Warren. I
Yeah.
mean, it's everyone's trying to be the first one to get there. So I'll start with the module side. So on the module side, there's 3 manufacturers in particular that are really looking at this.
Yeah.
Hanwha Q Cells is one. I mean, they're building a large facility in Georgia for the cell manufacturing. They already have module manufacturing. Silfab is another one, and then Helene is the third. So, and Helene is using cells from Suniva, which was a former module manufacturer that went bankrupt and now has come back into the cell space to comply with this requirement. So on the module side, those are the 3 manufacturers that we're really looking at. Now the challenge is going to be supply, because everyone wants to be the first one. So Helene is the only manufacturer that I'm aware of that is saying, hey, we're going to have modules that comply this year. Besides maybe like First Solar, but First Solar is primarily in the utility scale space. So Helene is going to have something hopefully in the coming months. Now, because they're the first one, they're also probably going to be the most expensive.
Right.
The premium for those US cells is quite a bit. So they're going to have something this year most likely. Q Cells is talking about something next year, and so is Silfab. Now, Silfab is already saying, hey, our supply is sold out through Q1 of next year.
Okay.
You know, get in line for Q2 and beyond. So this is the kind of tension that there's going to be. There's going to be a pricing challenge, there's going to be a supply challenge, and this is something that we really have to navigate. Now, as far as the actual certifications, I haven't seen any paperwork except from Selectria, which is an inverter manufacturer, where they've given us the paperwork and they've said, hey, these are the 2 items that we comply with.
Okay.
So on the inverter side, we'll shift a little bit here to the inverters. On the inverter side, Selectria is already making in the US. Enphase and SolarEdge are already assembling in the US. I think they both have a little bit of work to do to get these certifications, to get enough of the product and the right products to get these certifications.
When do you anticipate that to happen?
I expect them both to do that by later this year.
Okay,
Would be my
that's great.
expectation.
Yeah.
Enphase for sure. SolarEdge might be into early next year. Would be my guess. And then of course there's a number of other inverter manufacturers. I mean, basically every inverter manufacturer you talk to is saying we want to get there at some point. Of course, everyone does. On the racking side, right now, Unirac, I just got an alert, I think it was yesterday, that some of their product complies, and I haven't dug into what products do. That's for roof mounts. Iron Ridge is saying, hey, we should have rail that complies at some point later this year. And then, of course, all ground mount manufacturers, as far as I know, are already using all U.S. steel. So like Dale said, that wouldn't be a manufactured component. That's just the U.S. steel requirement.
Which is a requirement that they have to meet anyway.
That's 100%.
Correct.
Blows out of the water if they don't.
That's correct.
So I think every ground mount manufacturer is already complying with that. They were before this because U.S. steel is already protected by some tariffs, I believe. So I think they're already fairly competitive in the U.S. And then the other thing I'll mention too, so that's modules, inverters, and racking, and Dale touched on this a little bit already, but ground mounts, we think we can comply with just U.S. cells. So we think next year we'll be able to comply with Helene, Q cells, or Silfab as long as we can get the supply and the prices right. On roof mounts, it might be a little bit more complex, because we'll need either Enphase or Solar Edge and, the roof racking, which would, in our case would be Iron Ridge.
Right.
But we think by next year we'll be able to do that. Now the challenge is that's next year, and when are they going to update the final regulation, which is probably sometime toward the end of the year.
Yeah, I think so. And on the roof mounts, Larry, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's going to turn into a mix and match situation.
It will.
Probably.
It will. Yeah, because there might be cases where we say, okay, a situation with MLPE is going to, that and the rail I think is going to work. But then if we have a string inverter, we're probably going to need the string inverter plus the rail and maybe something from the modules yet,
Right.
or maybe the roof attachments, or maybe, so yeah, there's going to be some mix and match.
Yeah.
And probably what we're going to see, and Dale, you alluded to this a little bit, is right now, it looks like we don't need anything from the module to get roof mounts to comply.
Right.
There's going to be module manufacturers that are working on cell manufacturing in the U.S. that aren't going to like that. They're going to want us to have to use their modules, and so that part of it could also change.
That's another complexity. So what does this mean, Dale, for our current customers and even potential customers, for this year?
I thought about that, the reality is this thing, domestic content, has been in effect since 1/1/2023.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And we're a year and a half into this, and we're still struggling for
figure it out.
guidance. You could say that there's a potential that a system being installed today or a system installed a half a year ago, a system installed a year ago could qualify. I think that is just so incredibly unlikely.
Right.
And I don't think there's any way you'd ever get the certifications from the manufacturers to be able to do it.
Right.
But there were so few cells, US-made cells, in modules. I mean, it's practically non-existent
Right.
in the US. So the modules you got, if you have a ground mount, there's no way you'd have qualified.
Yeah.
Nothing is qualified that's been installed to this point, unless it was a First Solar.
Right.
So going forward, it's going to be how fast can we get the certifications
Yeah.
to be able to verify this? Because if they don't have that, I would be incredibly uncomfortable taking any type of 10% adder on the ITC without certifications.
Right. So certification and the availability of the product and being able to get the product installed
And that could be a crush, Warren.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
once these companies qualify their products, I mean, who's not going to want it? It's 10%. I mean, if their hardware costs 20% more, but you
Right.
get a 10% tax credit on the entire project, labor and everything, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
You still want that domestic content.
Absolutely. So, in summary, really, what we talked about this ground mount projects, we know you need the modules in order to comply. And currently, we don't have any certifications on any modules at this point.
Not currently, no.
Not currently, but hopefully by the end of the
Hopefully
year
soon, yeah.
or soon, we'll be able to do that. On roof mounts, we don't need the modules. We just need the racking and possibly the inverters or the optimizers to comply.
We definitely need at least the inverters and optimizers and the rail.
Right.
At this point.
At
Yeah.
the rack in order to comply. And are we at a point when we think we'll be able to do that?
I think we're probably realistically looking at early next year.
Early next
For
year.
that.
Yeah. And then final point is that we're still in guidance. These are not the final regulations. And so expect an updated video in the future when we actually have the regulations and we know exactly what the plan is. But in the meantime, at least in the industry, there's a rush for the manufacturers to start meeting these requirements. Expect the challenges, the supply chain challenges, the cost premiums that go along with it, the certification process. It's going to be fun.
It is. It always is.
Things continue to evolve, and we're going to be putting out future videos related to the IRA and the domestic content. So if you don't want to miss out on future content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.